Yo, JD here, Turles, and as you can see, we are finally back with a video, and this is AOR Malaysia. I'm not sure what round this is, and apologies for the lack of uploads recently. As I said in my last one, actually I had to move a job recently, which is the reason why, and a few other things going on, which has just kept me pretty much not at home most of the time. So had time to do this now and really plan to get back on schedule again with my uploads, because I do really miss it. I just didn't have the time to do it, which is the reason why I haven't had the time to play this game. But I'm not going to go into excuses or anything more, but you can see in the wet around Malaysia, and as you guys know, or I know myself, that wet is probably my favourite conditions in this game, because it really reminds me of when I played PGR4, which is the first competitive racing game I ever played. It really gave me a good understanding of how to feel the car, even though it sounds quite gay, but just how to feel the car. And then the wet just being, it's all about just precision with your throttle and braking, the steering, the smoothness as well. And I feel that's definitely my best areas when I play an F1 game, which is why I normally do quite well in the wet. But so far this lap is okay. It's not the best in the world. It felt pretty nice, but going out here, going a little bit too out wide on the curb here, a little bit too much for my liking. Did some practice for this. Not gonna say I didn't do practice. I definitely did do some practice for this on the Sunday. Did most of it in the dry though. I think I needed one wet one, and that was in the full wet, so I hadn't actually used the intermediates, so this was quite new for me. But nonetheless, it does feel quite similar, and we do have some good confidence in the wet, and we're using 8.7 wings, I believe. I was going to use 8.6 in the dry, but it was forecast for rain, so we're going to use 8.7 wings here. And really, I just want to just get myself back on track and just not say these excuses anymore, because I apologise if people are getting annoyed at that. That's something I'm pretty aware of myself. I just keep on going on and on. But you can see we actually came fourth, and that lap was half a second off from Tyrrell Martin, but I was quite happy with that. I knew there was some more in the tank, and it's starting on full wets for the race as well. And yeah, I was really looking forward to this, because as you may have seen with China previously, wets in the wet is probably definitely my best condition in this game. And the reason for the dry, I'm quick in the dry, but there are a few factors with my own driving style that I'll be able to go into the end of this video. The reason why I struggle a little bit at times and that. But you can see we've got 5 lights now. And away we go from Malaysia AOR, and getting quite a decent start. So staying on lean mix, which is something you really got to do, and under fueling the car as well, because we're going to be saving a lot of fuel throughout this race, but trying to keep it nice and tight. There's a little bit of lag from HCR Cupid, and Martin is lagging as well, but we're going to go in between two cars at the moment, trying to not hit reversal because of contact model, and there's a massive collision in front of us, but I think that is just lag, as Martin is just going, I don't know where he's going, but he's gone back into the lead again. So I thought I was in a podium position for a while there, but we've managed to maintain our position, and that is exactly what I wanted, just to, for the first lap, just not lose many positions. If I could just stay in touch with the leaders, then I was feeling very confident at the pace. And you can see the way I use the gears, I really rev out the gears, and if you watch me in previous F1 games, that is how I drive. I really like to rev out the gears, because not because I don't know, it's just a driving style where I feel it's easier for me to get on the traction, where if I'm short shifting, I sometimes have the tendency to lose the car at the rear. But that's something I definitely need to change. We've got down the inside of the flying fence on the championship leader. We've put a bold move down the inside, and I did that because I was so desperate to actually try and win this race. If it's going to be full wet, then I knew I had a really good chance. As we've seen in previous races, I knew Flying Finn, having been, is the championship leader and probably is going to be AOR champion of this season, very deservedly so, I'd say, in my opinion as well. I knew he wasn't going to fight that too much. He's not going to really risk him destroying his car or anything, is he? So making a move down there, and moving on to a couple laps later, we're actually caught up to the back of HCR Cupid, actually leaving behind Flying Finn just a little bit. You can see a little bit of that gap behind us. Pace, I think we did the quickest lap last lap as well. So again, just confirming that we do have the pace in this Haas car, especially in the wet, where I feel it's very good. So we're going back onto the back of Cupid now, who's obviously, I would say, probably one raw pace and that pace when he hooks it up. Probably the quickest guy in the game. And we're hassling him at the moment, and you can see he's gone a little bit wide at the moment, so we're all over the back of him. And at this point, I just wanted to get past him as soon as possible, because if I got past him, if I could let Martin see that I've got into second place, and that would really put some pressure on him into challenging for the win. And that's what I was doing. I've got nothing to lose at the moment at all this season, because my plan for next season is just to get a car choice that I feel would be much better for me, and having been a lot more prepared for next season. This season has been quite a big learning curve for me in terms of not really the driving, but the strategic element of the game and how you have to drive the cars and stuff as well. I think if I combine that with my pace, then next season I think we've got a real good chance of actually doing something that I want to do. But you can see we've got a good slipstream on HCR Cooper. We've got a nice exit of our corner. Go down the inside of him. He's going to go out wide, living in a space of Martin just within touching distance of here. So go trying the outside of us, left-hander. HCR Cupid, he's not leaving us any room here. He's brushed us off the track, and that's absolutely fine. He was the lead car. It's this racing line. And yeah, that's some good hard fair racing there. And we've got to make a move again, as that's now allowed Martin to get a little bit of a gap out ahead. So if we do get past Cupid, we've got a little bit of work to do, but still, if we could get a podium or a second place, then I would be extremely happy with that. So now we've got Flying Finn behind us. It's nice to be in this position again. It's been a while since I've done that, and as I said, I know people think I made excuses, which I have, to be honest. I just haven't really put in the work for this game, and that's the honest truth. So going into this now, braking quite late, and we actually hit Cupid, and that is, that has damaged our wing. And if you ever know anything about that, particularly in the wet, that is pretty much race ending. Doing that, I didn't feel I braked particularly late for some reason. I thought I could have stopped the car quite easily, but we made contact, that slight contact, and now the understeer we've got. You can see how much time we're losing already to Cupid, making contact with a championship leader as well. I was pretty nervous about spinning him off because that's something I don't want to do, and you can see how much time we've lost already, just particularly for the high speed corners. We're going to be really struggling. So for corners like this, it's not too bad, but going through the fast left, right, and then the very fast left, the third to last corner, losing a lot of time. And you can see Martin's got a gap now for the battling we've been doing with Cupid, and now we've got Finn behind us, and we're not going to give up. We're going to do everything we can. We're going to have to make a pit stop and change this wing, because there's no way that we can continue with this wing. That there's absolutely no way. And as you can see, the understeer here, but we're still actually keeping in touch with Cupid. So despite this damage, and you can see through here, look how much time we're losing and how much Finn is all over us at the moment. Despite this, we're still within touch, and I think we actually caught back up to Cupid again, despite the damage. That just shows the real, the pace we do actually have in this car. So it is quite annoying. So that orange front wing, probably losing about half a second or more, at very least a half a second, versus Cupid is actually now going to the pits. So he's going to the pits quite early, and you can see the sun now starting to come out. So it looks like it's going to be intermediates. And at this point, you know what I'm like with strategy, not particularly great in this game with strategy, just really just going through the practice runs of it. But you can see the track now visibly is definitely seems to be getting a bit drier now. So we've selected intermediates. I'm still wasn't 100% sure, because in this game the grip still seems quite good, so I wasn't particularly sure as Finn. Just through our front wing, we just don't have the traction or turn there. So we're gonna let him go into the pits first, and now we're gonna go into pits. Tyrrell Martin has gone to pits, and we're a race director, and oh my god. Yeah, I just couldn't believe what I did there for some reason. And we get a 10-second penalty slapped on top of that as well, which is great. But yeah, I assumed looking at race director on previous F1 games, it would actually follow the pit lane in. It wouldn't turn you back onto the track. And yeah, I don't know why I did that. To be honest, I have absolutely no idea. I should have just waited until I got more into the pit lane before doing that. But yeah, that's annoying. So we have just lost, I don't know how many seconds. This pit stop as well. Can't quite see how long that's going to be. Let's see how long that's going to be. Does that say 9 seconds? So yeah, that's 6 seconds there. probably a good 4 or 5 seconds. So I'd say well over 10 seconds, quite comfortably. Or yeah, 15 seconds or something. So yeah, that's pretty much destroyed our race, and that was my fault. I don't know. Just don't know why I was doing it. The pit lane line was quite far down there, a bit further on. So I don't know why I did that. But on previous games, it's annoying that you could actually change your tyres as you're actually going up to your pit box. Something I would love to have happen again, but you know, it is what it is. And now we've just got to fight back and just do the best we can. And yeah, that's all we can do at the moment. And we've actually caught up. I think we're about 4 or 5 seconds behind, but within 3 laps, we've actually caught up to the back of Jason and now RS Falcon and Andre. So again, I think we're lapping the quickest guy on track at the moment in this car. So the pace, again, is just frustrating because it's there. I know it's there. I know it's there in this game in general, but just some of the decisions I've made through my own fault of just not being prepared enough as I was for previous games has really cost me. And people seem to assume that I just turned up on previous games like 13, 12 and 14 and just turned up and did it. I used to spend absolutely hours practicing for those races. I used to do a social almost every day, so I knew every single scenario. So this is really just a learning curve for me this season, just to what to expect for next season. And if I get more of a preferred choice of a car that I do want to go in, along with just having the experience of this season, then I'm really looking forward to the next season. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do my target of actually winning a championship in AOR, which is something I really, really want to do. So you can see he made some nice moves there on RS Falcon and Jason as well. And now coming on to the back of Andre. So again, getting some really good pace, really good traction up here. So 8.7 wings working really well for these conditions. And we're going to go for slipstream here. Should be quite an easy move, but not gaining too much speed down the straights. And obviously no DRS in these conditions. Go down the inside here. And we should do another move. Try and do the same move we did on Cupid. Go around the outside, managed to perform that a lot better this time. I'm not giving him that much space to turn in or drift me out wide. Using the traction, and that is us up into 8th place. And we've got Mike Marshmallow who's the next target. So if we could recover to maybe 6th or something like that, that would be absolutely great. But you can see now the track is starting to dry, and we're going to go in quite early. Because we've got nothing to lose. We've got to make up some positions, but it looks like AOR Reversal has gone into the pits as well, making the pit lane this time, which is something we didn't do last time at Monza, or in my last video I did in AOR. We missed that and got drive through. So this time we've actually managed to make it, and we'll go put on the hard tyre as AOR Reversal has put on medium tyres. And with 12 laps to go, I thought that was quite a bold decision, because in practice mediums were done after 9 laps, 10 laps, they're almost getting a puncture. So he may be quicker, but I think his risk of puncture is significantly high. So we're going to put on the hard tyre, and that should easily do about 14 to 15. That's fairly comfortable. So we can push as hard as we like. Got some fuel in the car, and yeah, 6 skills. He's still on wets behind us, so we should hopefully jump a few people as well. So we're going to come round, end of lap 16, completing 17 laps of this race. And let's see if we jump any cars. So there'll be a few people pitting now. So tyre wear is not, if you have a lap fresher tyres, it's not a massive deal in this game. But you can see we've got Wycombs, so we come out in 8th place. So we haven't really gained any positions. We've got Wycombs here, and I was really desperate to get ahead of him. And it looks like Mike Marshmallow is just ahead of him as well. So he's within touching distance. So 6th place within touching distance. So if I could get that, I'd be pretty happy if we could recover ourselves to get that at the very least. So we're going to go down the inside of Wycombs, making a really bold move here, leaving some room on the exit, but he gets the better traction coming off here. You can see the track is still wet in some places, so we've got to be particularly careful thinking about the move around the outside, but thinking better of it again. And yeah, we're just going to stick him behind him, and I want to get past him as quick as possible, because I just really want to get onto the back of Mike Marshall to get that 6th place. We've got a nice gap behind us. We've got a Jason behind St. Andre and that lot. We're going to go down the inside again. A little bit of a half-assed move now, not a real committed move. Just didn't want to understeer into Wycombs there. And you can see time's going purple now, because it's dry as Wycombs going out wide. So again, this is just costing us a little bit of time. I feel we're quicker in the corners than him at the moment. And obviously him just coming out of the pits, he's still getting used to the car. So we're going to go try and get a better line coming off here, try and get some good traction coming off this. As we do, we get some really good traction, DRS, but we're not going to really go for a move here because we've got DRS again. So if we overtook him here, he would just get us straight back down the next straight. So you can see, going deep for this one. Try and get a nice exit, which we managed to do. Quite a decent exit off this. DRS, rich mix, and this should be a relatively comfortable move, but it's not as easy as I thought it would be going to this. So try and break late in him, but he's going to go down the inside. Once again, a little bit of contact there, I think, and he's still on our inside, so we're going to leave some room. But this is allowing Mike Marshmallow to get away a little bit, something we don't want, and getting a nice exit off here. But it looks like Wycombe's has got some really good straight line speed, so he's going to go down the inside of us again. So this is really, really good racing. Going purple, leaving some room on the inside, and we've managed to just stay ahead of him. So for the time being, we've stayed ahead of Wycombe's, but this is short-lived really. With the fresher tyres, DRS as well, there's not really too much we can do. And wow, looks like he's already almost gone past us before the start-finish line almost. And I was slightly confused by this, and this has happened to me quite a few times where I've been using the same wing as someone, and they're still just dominating us down the straight, but we don't really seem to be. But we're trying to get a good exit off here, try and pull alongside him, and again, looks like 6th place is out of the question. So now it's just for pride for 7th place. Go down the inside, he's leaving some nice room here, but he's going to go around the outside of us. And yeah, that looks like the move is done and we can't get him this time. But yeah, it was a straight line speed. You do get engine wear in this game, and you'll be able to see my engine towards the end of this race. I think I show a lap where I do a full lap of the race, and yeah, it actually costs you time for this, because I actually spoke to Tyrrell Martin after the race, and if your engine's worn, which mine usually is, because the way I shift, I don't actually short shift. I don't really like short shifting that much, and doesn't really suit my driving style. And I tend to rev out the gears quite a bit, and that really costs you in straight line speed. And basically, we did a test after the race. I'm losing about 5 miles an hour on the straight, even with someone with the same wing. So yeah, you can see how much of a disadvantage that is, and that's basically effectively like running in lean mix the entire time. So you can see we have just been absolutely dropped by Wycombe's and been caught by Jason and Andre behind us when we had so much pace over them earlier in the race. And I think this is the lap where, yeah, I'm showing you this lap, which is the fastest of my race actually, and I feel this is quite a good lap. But believe it or not, this lap is about 1.2 seconds slower than what Martin did on this lap and the leaders, and that is actually because the engine, I think we're going to show it in a minute. My engine, you'll see it will be bright yellow, so you'll see, I might have even, yeah, so you can see it here, it's bright yellow, and if that's bright yellow, then you're going to be losing a lot of speed in a straight line. So you can see this lap, we're driving pretty well, you'll be able to see towards the end of it, but yeah, we did a test after the race, and you tend to lose about 4 to 5 miles an hour compared to if you had a fresh engine, pretty much. So if you're losing that much in every straight, and you're losing that through acceleration as well, when someone has DRS behind you, there's going to be absolutely no chance for you to recover. And yeah, that means I really just have to change my driving style, short shift quite a bit, and yeah, that really does hurt you if you do that. So we guess we're going to have to short shift from now on, or just not rev it out as much. But this is just something I've just always tend to do. I think it's mainly in the wet. The wet, it doesn't affect you, because since you're on lean the entire time, the engine doesn't affect you, which is why our pace was so good in the wet at the start of the race. But towards the end, when it's dry, when the engine's cooked, then it's the same as driving around in lean. So with the Canberra drivers you're having here, if you're driving around in lean, you'll probably go be the slowest guy on the track. So yeah, there's not really too much you can do when that happens. So you can see now Wycombe's, you know, we only had a lap older tyres, but we've been dropped like 6 or 7 seconds, and yeah, that's because we're losing about a second a lap. And yeah, it's painful, and I just couldn't really understand it really, because I felt I was driving really well, and yeah, that is why. So you can see, look how easy it was for Andre to get past us. There's just absolutely no competition when this is happening behind us. I know we've got Jason as well, and you could see when we came out of the pits earlier, about 10 or 12 laps ago, I think he was like 7 seconds behind or something like that. So it's just crazy. But again, that's something within my control, so it's something I need to learn for next race and do a little bit of practice with. And yeah, again, I think that's hurt me in previous races. I think in Bahrain earlier this season and just in other dry races, I didn't realise it had that much of an effect on me. So I don't know if it actually applies to qualifying as well. I don't know if the engine can get that warning qualifying. If it can, then maybe that's why. So yeah, something to look on to, particularly for next season. And now we're just fighting for 8th place now. So I enjoyed this race. I definitely enjoyed the start of it. Can't really be too annoyed because it was my own doing, my own fault. But as I said, just got to take these things and just put them into next time. As race winner is Tyrrell Martin. So well done to him. Thoroughly deserved win there. And we've just got to fight off Jason going down this main straight now. To see what we can do. If we can hold him off, but we're not really actually going to battle too much. He doesn't look like he's actually going to try and get past us. Go brake really late, just so he doesn't go down inside. Get a nice exit up here, and yeah, we'll be coming home 8th place, which will put us back actually further because we had those penalties. You know, 2-time penalties in a wet for corner cutting or just warnings and stuff, and then the 10-second one for that pit lane thing that we did. So. And Ciara's coming in 10th, so he didn't have a good race either. So at least we could say we didn't have as bad a race as him. But yeah, that is finishing us into 8th place. I don't know where I'll be without the time penalties. So I don't know if other people have penalties as well. But yeah, that is AOR Malaysia. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Trying to get back on a more consistent schedule again. So. Just want to say apologies to anyone who I think I was ranting in the last video, which I was, and it's cringy. I really don't like saying it, but it's just me just being super competitive. So yeah, apologies if that's annoyed anyone, but I know what I have to do myself. So hopefully you keep supporting me. If you don't, fine, but if you do, it's really appreciated. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time. Cheers.